early on in the game. I saw a little bit different of a route tree for Mike Evans. Tom Brady was absolutely trying to get Mike Evans involved early and often.
This is what has been frustrating me about the Bucs all year long. Is like you are capable of this. Mike Evans is capable of this game. Tom Brady is capable of having this game.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
Maybe the greatest catch I've ever seen.
The Mike Evans eruption game. We're talking about a dude that went 12 targets, 10 receptions, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns during championship week. Matt Harmon, come on now. Mike Evans, that was awesome.
Yeah, I tweeted out the photo of the meme of Squidward watching SpongeBob and Patrick like playing around outside. He's looking out the window. Love to explain memes on a podcast. One of my favorite things to do. And I was like, this is me like watching all of my my fantasy teams, like my rosters that got eliminated last week. Because I think I said, hey, I could, if Mike Evans wants to drop 3 touchdowns, like I could have come back from some big deficits in last week's matchups. Right. Didn't happen. Did happen this week. But, this is the frustrating thing I think about the Bucs. And I was pretty open on the podcast last week that I wanted to see, the Panthers in the playoffs. I don't want to see the Bucs in the playoffs. I want to see the Panthers win the NFC South. That did not happen. Although the Panthers put up a pretty valiant effort there. Came down to a crazy punt. That punt at the end, right when the guy almost barely gets that thing off. Like if he doesn't get that thing off, the Panthers have the ball right there. Like there's a pretty big scenario they end up winning this game. So pretty close competitive game. But this is what has been frustrating me about the Bucs all year long. Is like you are capable of this. You are capable of this game. Mike Evans is capable of this game. Tom Brady is capable of having this game. Because, people have been asking all year, like, what's wrong with Mike Evans? Is Mike Evans washed? No, Mike Evans is not washed. There's nothing wrong with Mike Evans. Like, he's still getting open at the same level that he's gotten open at previously. He still can rip it downfield. He can still win on routes. But, he isn't – I don't think he's lost a step at all. I just think that there's been a lot of factors working against the Buccaneers passing game. I think the coaching is still a problem, by the way. I heard Charles Robinson of Yahoo, works with me at Yahoo, say that if Tampa Bay is back in, if Tom is back in Tampa Bay next, I'm messing this up. If Brady is back in Tampa Bay next year, it will require a clean house of the offensive coaching staff, which I feel is number one, unlikely, and number two, I don't think they do that, so therefore I don't think Tom is back in Tampa. I think that's kind of a foregone conclusion, even if they go on a little bit of a run here in the playoffs, which I also don't think is out of the question either. Long story short here, I think the coaching has been poor. I think Brady's lack of confidence in the offensive line has created a problem where he is getting the ball out too quickly, and that really negates any of the downfield passing stuff. But on the first 2 of the 3 Mike Evans touchdowns against the Panthers yesterday, Brady held the ball on the first one for 2.6 seconds, which I know doesn't sound crazy, but considering he got rid of it 1.88 seconds the game prior, that might as well be eternity, and 3.4 second time to throw on the second touchdown, which again, that's the type of time that Tom hasn't been taking or that the line has been allowing him. And having Donovan Smith, who hasn't had a great season, but still having him and Tristan Wirfs back out there for this game at tackle is huge. They also have activated Ryan Jensen as well. So that issue has been a big weight on the offense all year, but these games were always capable of happening here with Mike Evans. Maybe not to this extreme. The Panthers were really injured at cornerback. They just signed Josh Norman, who was like,
oh my God,
running a coffee shop, his own coffee shop a couple of weeks ago, right?
That's crazy that Josh Norman was active for this ball game. You talk about that time to throw for Tom Brady. He's got the second fastest time to throw on the season. Only Colt McCoy has been able to get or has gotten the ball out faster than Tom Brady, which kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at here. Hey, you talked about that time to throw from last week, 1.88 seconds. I think I looked it up. Yeah, Tom Brady now on this particular week got it out at 2.5 which is for him pretty, like, that's much longer. It's more than
Yeah.
a season average. And again, a significantly time longer in the pocket before a pass attempt than, as you mentioned, last week as well. By the way, should be noted, and probably doesn't surprise a lot of folks, but 8 air yards per attempt as well in this ball game. Also significantly more than what he has been throwing on the season, 7.1 air yards per pass attempt on the season for Tom Brady. So testing it deep and basically being able to kind of hold it in the pocket a little bit longer. But I want to ask you this, Matt. I thought early on in the game, I saw a little bit different of a route tree for Mike Evans. And I thought that, and the broadcast noted it as well, but Tom Brady was absolutely trying to get Mike Evans involved early and often.
Yeah, and they did that with some of those like kind of like some of the comebacks, some of the hitches, stuff like that, which then I think, especially when you have guys who aren't your typical corners out there, right? Like, CJ Henderson, former Jags, was he a top 10 pick, or he was definitely a first round pick in Jacksonville?
Yeah, top 10 pick.
Yeah, he really got taken to the woodshed a couple times by Evans, to the point where I was like, buddy, what, are you even trying out there? Like, come on, man. But like, there, you getting those cornerbacks to start to come here to cheat up on those routes, stuff like that, and then you rip them on the go routes. And those 3 touchdowns all came on go routes. I think Next Gen Stats had that it was only the second game all year where someone's had 3 touchdowns on a go route, on all go routes. The first was AJ Brown against the Steelers earlier this year. So yeah, I thought that was definitely, I mean, again, it was this, like, the connection between Evans and Brady, what's going on. And yeah, I think that not only that too, but Chris Godwin had 9 catches for 120 yards in this game, because the Panthers had to use Jeremy Chin as their slot corner, because that's how down bad they are at the cornerback position right now.
And Jeremy Chin's a good player, but he's not a slot corner, dude. Right. Come on, man, playing completely out of position.
Exactly. Yeah. So once you, and really it's like, this is what the Bucs should have been all year. They have 2 guys who are, I think, they're right there in terms of like top fringe, top 10, top 12 receivers in the NFL, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, when they're right. And they just haven't really gotten those guys consistently popping off at the same time together at the height of their powers. And this game they did. That's what I said. They're capable of this stuff every single week.